Welcome back. Let's get into another great recap of an anime you have to check out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Back when humans were just living a happy, simple life, a dungeon appeared in the middle of a cemetery. There, a man claiming to be the king of a once prosperous kingdom appeared before them, informing them about a mad magician who hid the wealthy kingdom below the ground. After informing them about about the treasures inside the wealthy hidden castle, he vanishes in thin air. A red dragon wipes out a group of adventurers, but Phelan, the group's mage healer, casts a teleportation spell to move everyone to a safer location in order to save them all from their impending doom. However, when Laios regains consciousness, he finds out that only Phelan was not teleported, and that most of their party members had already resigned. Laios then decided to go back to the dungeon, and the two remaining party members, Marcille, the elf enchantress, and Chilchuk, the hobbit support, also decided to join him. Inside the dungeon, they come across a giant mushroom monster, and Marcille quickly knocks it down. Laios thinks of cooking it, so he gathers some other ingredients, including a giant scorpion. While preparing the food, they meet Senshi, the dwarf researcher, who teaches them how to properly cook the scorpion. Soon enough, they manage to create a delicious meal out of the very unexpected ingredients that were least likely to be eaten. As they continue their journey along with their new companion, they reach a part of the forest where they encounter some carnivorous plants, and using those and other fruits as ingredients, they make a giant tart that they share together. Marcille wakes up from her dream and smells the food that the other party is cooking. However, Senshi talks about how unhealthy their food is. That said, Laios and Senshi think about hunting yet another monster from the dungeon. They then go on to steal some basilisk eggs, but soon the basilisk itself confronts them. As expected, they managed to defeat the monster, and they made a giant roasted chicken out of it. Not long after, they even helped the adventurer who got poisoned by the basilisk. As the party continues, Marcille tries to prove her worth to the team, so she leads the party on how they can properly harvest mandrakes. She starts telling complicated ways to do it, so Senshi chimes in and harvests the mandrakes using his own ways. Then, Senshi made some omelet rice using the egg of the basilisk. When they decided to continue, they ended up on a dungeon floor with no exits, so Chilchuk did what he did best. He manages to unlock the passages and traps, and they proceed to cook mandrake a la giant bat kakiage using the traps from the dungeon. Continuing their journey, the party reaches another dead end. Luckily, Chilchuk is always there to save the day. However, Laios loses his sword decoration in the process. Laios recalls his past memories with his little sister Phelan when they were still newbie adventurers. Back then, they joined a party looking for gold, and they ended up reaching a part of the dungeon with many soldier suits. Unfortunately, the soldier suits move and start to isekai the party members one by one. Luckily, Laios and Phelan managed to survive. At present, Laios thinks that the soldier suits must be monsters, and they can be cooked into a delicious meal. However, Marcille tells him that soldier suits are not living creatures like monsters, and they are just probably being manipulated by a mage. The party then enters the room of the soldiers that Laios told them about. Laios then manages to enter another room, where he sees a special type of soldier suit. Laios discovers after fighting it that they are under the control of mollusk-like monsters that identify themselves as soldiers. Then, with Senshi's help, they cook the monsters into some sort of grilled seafood. Laios takes the sword of the special suit, and their journey continues. Senshi leads the party to his garden, where there are basically living golems. Upon reaching the room, Senshi quickly defeats the 3 golems, and they harvest the vegetables that Senshi had planted on them before. Senshi cooks some of the vegetables with the last remaining basilisk meat into a vegetable soup. When Marcille shoved Senshi's carrot down her throat, she thought it was the most delicious vegetable she had ever tasted. Soon after, Marcille talks about the waste management of the area, and they realize that Senshi is the one doing it. Moreover, Senshi reveals to them that the golems are the ones responsible for keeping the monsters away from the higher floors of the dungeon. Continuing their journey, the party brings Senshi's harvested vegetables, which he plans to trade in for something useful. However, they wound up entering a seedy market where some vicious orcs would soon attack. Luckily, Senshi is acquainted with the orc leader, and they ask for a place to stay in exchange for the vegetables. They go to the orc refugee camp, and Senshi bakes some bread for everyone. The orc also offered them their food, and Laios managed to convince the orc leader to show him the location of the Red Dragon. A party led by the most promising newbie adventurer, Kabru, was enjoying their meal together. After hearing some compliments, they decided to go to the deeper floors of the dungeon. Here, they end up finding a treasure box and decide to call it a day, thinking it is a great day to come across a jewelry box. Moments later, Laios' party sees Kabru's party lying lifeless on the floor. It turns out that the jewelry box they saw was filled with treasure bug monsters. With the help of Marcial's magic, the party survives the deceiving treasure bug monsters. Senshi won't let those monsters go to waste, so he collects them and sorts them into edible and non-edible. Then, he makes some treasure bug snacks. Moments later, Marcial and Chilchuck feel bad after throwing the real gems, while Laios discovers that his sword is alive and names it Kensuke. As they continue, they reminisce about Phelan's moments with them. Trapped in a room filled with ghosts, Senshi decided to make holy water out of the remaining ingredients, and they defeated all the ghosts using it. After that, the holy water becomes an exorcist sorbet, and they enjoy it all together. Laios' party continues their journey on deeper floors. Here, they found a gallery filled with paintings from the kingdom, where they could see King Frenag and his successor, Prince Delgal. Laios tries eating food inside the dimensional paintings, but to no avail. In his last attempt, he was almost isekai by the elf with flame magic. That said, the party decided to call it a day and take a rest in an empty room. Chilchuck reminisces about his past encounters with mimic monsters from the dungeon. In the middle of the night, Chilchuck felt thirsty, and he wanted to get water from the refilling station. However, he ended up getting stuck in a room filled with traps. Moreover, a giant mimic keeps terrorizing him. Luckily, his masterful skill with hidden traps helps him survive the menace. Soon enough, the Senshi cooks the giant mimic and turns it into a boiled mimic that they eat together. At that point, Chilchuck starts opening up with his party and reveals that he is already 29 years old, which also reveals that Laios is the youngest among them. Kabru's party is woken up by body collectors after realizing that they are not dead yet. Upon regaining consciousness, their party thought they were robbed because they didn't know that they had been taken down by the treasure bug monsters. The human dog member of their party figures out that there has been a man, hobbit, dwarf, and elf that eat near their unconscious bodies. That said, they decided to confront Laios' party. Moments later, Laios' party starts walking in the water using Marcial's magic, but Senshi doesn't like the idea. He then decided to take a ride with a kelpie, but it almost took its life away. Soon after, Senshi decided to get the kelpie's meat, while Laios and Chilchuck saw Kabru's party unconscious on the water again, because they were hypnotized by the mermaids. Laios cooks the dead merman, and they enjoy the delicious meal. After that, they wash Senshi's facial hair, and he manages to walk in the water. The ruckus that happens in the water triggers the kraken, and it comes to the surface to eat them all. Luckily, Senshi manages to kill it, and they cook the parasite living inside it, upsetting Laios' stomach in the process. Marcial wakes up worried from oversleeping, and she quickly checks on Laios, who is feeling much better than last time. Not long after, Marcial starts telling her backstory as a prodigy student in a magic academy. She is well known by almost all students as a very talented mage. One day in one of their classes, where they are cultivating spirits inside a jar, she meets a weird mage named Phelan, who chooses to outcast herself from everyone and enjoys learning on her own. When it was time to test their spirits, Fallen produced the strongest spirit, making Marcial wonder how she managed to do it. Fallen reveals how she did it, and they became friends. Back in the present, Marcial finishes cleaning herself, and she throws the hot water in the lake, only to get attacked by an undine. She was badly injured in the incident, and the party has no other option but to retreat to survive. Moments later, the party cooks the liver of the kelpie to help Marcial regain her drained mana. The party enjoys savoring the taste of it, and Marcial even asks for more. While getting ready to find ways to help Marcial, Laios' party crosses paths with Namari, their previous party member. Namari introduces her party to Laios' party, and they have a confrontation about Namari turning her back to them because she doesn't want to work for free. After that, Namari's party has been warned about an angry Undine blocking their way to continue on the deeper floors. Namari and Mr. Tansu check on the Undine, which angers them further, eliminating Namari in the process. Luckily, Mr. Tansu has a strong resurrection magic, and he puts Namari back to life. Laios then asks him to heal Marcille, but he refuses to do so in exchange for nothing. That said, Laios helps them in their quest in exchange for healing Marcille. With their collective efforts, they manage to accomplish their task and defeat an ivy tentacle monster. Mr. Tansu heals Marcille afterward, but they suggest that she go back to the surface. Refusing to do it, Marcille thought of consuming the spirit so she could recover instantly. That said, they collaborated to defeat the Undine, and successfully did it. Soon after, they Namari from what had happened in the past, and together they share a meal with everyone. As the party continues their journey, they reach a downward passage that is filled with tentacle monsters. Along the way, giant red frog monsters start sticking out their long, sticky tongues, and they steal their weapons before throwing them to the bottom of the passage. Only Senshi is left armed with his axe, but another frog tries to steal it away. Luckily, Chilchuk chimes in, and he uses the frog skin as gloves to activate the hidden trap. He successfully did it, even though he was almost swallowed alive. They then figure out how to use the frog skins as suits to go down safely without getting attacked by the tentacles. Meanwhile, Mr. Tansu convinces the island lord to send more adventurers to explore the dungeon further. After that, it is revealed that Namari is asking the guild about the sighting of Phelan. Meanwhile, the party reaches the previous location of the orcs, and they use the ingredients they find there to prepare a meal. Laios then thanked everyone for accompanying him on his journey, and they enjoyed their food together. Not long after, they feel the ground shaking and discover that the red dragon is just around the corner. Laios' party devises a plan to set a trap using Marcille's magic to defeat the red dragon monster. They then get the attention of the red dragon, so it will chase them down. Things are going according to plan, and they begin running for their lives as the dragon starts hunting them down. The dragon casts its flamethrower at them, but they manage to survive thanks to Senshi's adamantine walks. After that, they lure the monster into the trap, and Marcille activates her magic to bury the monster under a building. Soon enough, the monster rampages, and they are all injured. They tried fighting it using Senshi's mithril knife, but to no avail. After the sacrifice of Senshi and Chilchuk, they managed to get Laios' sword and injure the dragon's eye. Meanwhile, Laios and Marcille devise a plan, and they give it their best shot to defeat the dragon. Laios loses his foot in the process, but he successfully defeats the dragon. Soon after, they began extracting the innards of the monster, and they found the bones of Phelan inside, making them all feel devastated. Laios plans to collect the remains of Phelan and seek the help of a resurrection specialist. However, Marcille knows that it is not possible, considering the situation they are in. Nonetheless, she decided to do the resurrection herself, and they started to assemble the bones of Phelan. After that, Marcille activates her black magic and passes out afterward. Soon enough, Phelan is successfully resurrected, and the two ladies take their most satisfying bath. Moments later, Senshi starts preparing food, and he is almost burnt into crisps. Thanks to Phelan's magic, Senshi is saved. That said, Senshi continues preparing food using the red dragon's meat. As expected, Laios starts talking crap about the good that no one cares about. Later that evening, Laios tells Phelan all the types of monsters they have eaten inside the dungeon. Then, Kensuke was also introduced to the party. Before calling it a day, Phelan sees a ghost, and she asks for permission to let them stay for the night. She even fully heals her brother's foot before going to sleep. Little did they know, Marcille's black magic was tracked down by a dark elf. Phelan wakes up in the middle of the night, and she is kind of possessed by the dark elf. Soon enough, Laios realizes that Phelan is missing, so he alerts everyone about it. Not long after, they reach the location of the corpse of the red dragon, and saw Phelan possessed by the dark elf. Marcille tries fighting him, but her best is not enough, and they experience a fatal defeat, and all of them almost get isekai to a new world. The party then wakes up in a room of crashing walls. Luckily, they manage to go out before it's too late. Soon enough, the party finds out that they are at the refugee camp of the orcs. The orcs confront them, but Senshi's connection with them saves them once again. Chilchuck, on the other hand, starts wanting to leave the party, and he is allowed to do as he wants. However, after talking to the leader of the orcs, he realizes that he only wants to leave them because he doesn't want to see them die. That said, Chilchuck goes back to Laios and convinces the party to go back to the surface in the meantime. Days earlier, Namari's party saved the unconscious Kabru's party. Upon waking up, Mr. Tansu asks Kabru for compensation for helping them before leaving them near the lake. Kabru's party starts getting mad because, once again, Laios' party took some of their supplies. However, they also figured out that they were still alive because of Laios' party. Not long after, Kabru's party decided to go back to the surface in the meantime. However, before they can even exit the lake, someone casts an illusion magic, making them attack one another. Fortunately, Kabru's keen observation saves the day, and they figure out that the corpse collectors are the ones responsible for the incident. Kabru eliminated them all, one after another. After that, Kabru's party talks about the people who give ghost-repelling spells. With Kabru's top-tier observation haki, he manages to figure out that the party they are looking for is Laios' party. Upon leaving the lake, they encounter the sea serpent, and they are saved by Shuro's party. After that, Kabru offers a helping hand to Shuro to join them in finding Phelan. Meanwhile, Laios' party is lost in what seems like a Daedalus maze. Unable to find their way out, they start feeling frustrated, and Chilchuck dares to make a move but to no avail. Soon enough, the party starts to feel hungry, and Senshi feels so frustrated that he cannot feed them properly. Not long after, Chilchuck smells the scent of flowers, which turns out to be dryads. They defeated them and Laios took the dryad fruits. They even collected some other ingredients around the area, and Senshi turned them into a delicious meal. After that, Marcille decided to teach Laios some healing magic. With her proper instruction, Laios manages to heal her wound. Soon enough, Laios experiences mana sickness, while the others check for the cause of the shaking. Unfortunately, they encounter a cockatrice, and Senshi wonders if Marcille can eat her caca thrice. Sorry, I mean, if it's edible like the basilisk. They defeated it, but unfortunately, Marcille turned into a stone because of the bite from a cockatrice. Laios then tries learning magic, and later on, he manages to turn Marcille back to normal. Senshi cooks the cockatrice, and they all enjoy their meal. The party continues mapping out the Infinity Castle. Sorry, I mean, the whole place of the town inside the dungeon. Soon enough, they discover that the whole place is fixed by tiny monsters called dungeon cleaners. Then, as expected, Senshi finds a way to cook food for them using their remaining food supply and the cockatrice egg. Not long after, Shuro's party and Kabru's party approach them. Shuro's overwhelming fatigue is too much to handle, so he asks his party to prepare a meal for him. While doing so, Laios, Shuro, and Kabru talk in a secluded area about what happened and what they had been doing in the past days. Not long after, the food is ready, and they give it to Shuro. To their surprise, Shuro seems like he wants to kill Laios. It is then revealed that they used black magic to revive Phelan back from the dead. Shuro is mad because using black magic is a serious offense, but Laios tells him that there will be no problem as long as no one talks about it. Meanwhile, Phelan, in her monster form, appears near their location. While the situation is getting more intense, Chilchuck appears to inform them about the harpies that attacked them. Shuro's party handles the harpies one by one until one of them falls dead and hugs the ground. It turns out that Phelan has turned into a chimera harpy, and she is so overpowered that she easily defeats them one after another. Holmes summons an Undine, but it's still not enough to take Phelan down. Phelan then continues killing them, and she uses an ultimate magic that can kill many enemies at once. After Phelan escapes, Holmes resurrects Kabru, and after that, they resurrect Maizuru, and they successfully resurrect and heal everyone. Moments later, Laios and Shuro start fighting, and the others simply let them settle their childish squabble. They then prepare a meal for everyone and they eat together. After that, Shuro asks Maizuru to prepare the dimensional magic to return to the surface along with Kabru's party, even if Asebi is still missing. Before leaving, Kabru tells Laios not to forget about him till they meet again. Soon after, Laios and his party continue their journey to defeat the lunatic mage and save Phelan at the same time. Upon continuing their journey, they have reached another weird floor of the dungeon where there's actually snow. They all try to reach a safer location and end up in a jail-like place. Here, they find themselves along with their clones. Luckily, Laios' clones and one of Marcial's are obviously fakes, so they lock them up in a cell. Laios, being the first one to have proven himself, becomes the judge to figure out who among them are fakes and real ones. After asking them to do some relevant stuff, Laios manages to eliminate another set of fake ones, leaving them all with a pair. Laios then decided to choose the real ones, but just to make sure, he did his best dog sound imitation, intimidating the shapeshifter in the process. Turns out that the shapeshifter is a giant nine-tailed fox, and with Marcial's magic, they defeat the monster. Moments later, while having their dinner, they wondered why some of their food had gone missing. They follow the trail of food drops, and Marcial is taken as a hostage by a female ninja in the process. Chilchuck figures out that the ninja girl is Asebi, whose real name is Izutsumi, from Shuro's party. Apparently, she intentionally separates herself from her previous party, so she can ask Marcial to lift the spells that were given to her. First is the Shinigami summoning mark that was put on her neck by Maizuru in case she turns her back to them. Second was the beast's soul that was attached to herself. The Shinigami mark was removed, and the curse was successfully handled by Senshi after giving Izutsumi some food. However, Marcial admits that she has no idea how to undo the binding spell of her soul. Moments later, they try recruiting Izutsumi to their party and let Marcial have a rest. However, Marcial was experiencing nightmares. To help him overcome this, Laios decided to enter his dream and encouraged her to face and defeat her fears. With Laios' help, Marcial successfully overcomes her nightmare. After that, Laios gets the nightmare monsters under the pillow of Marci. And what else to expect from him and Senshi? They cook them like some sort of scallops and enjoy eating them while watching the dream of Marci. Continuing their journey, the party reaches the floor where they first encounter the Red Dragon. In this place, they successfully retrieved all the stuff that they had left when they were teleported by Phelan. Not long after, they are attacked by an ice golem that Senshi accidentally dropped. Luckily, Izutsumi is there to save the day. After that, Senshi prepares a concoction for the fire, and all of them heat themselves with a bonfire. When Senshi starts melting the ice, they realize that they have made an improvised sauna, so they enjoy the steam while Senshi is cooking the food. Moments later, Chilchuck gives Izutsumi a repaired bag, while Marci dresses her up using Namari's clothes. Upon reaching a safer place, Izutsumi plans to depart herself from the group. Unfortunately, she endangers herself in the process. Luckily, Marcial arrives in the nick of time to save her. When they return to the safer place, Senshi prepares some food and they enjoy eating all together. They even start winning the trust of Izutsumi, even though she is still a little feisty. Then, together they continue their journey. Shuro and Kabru's parties have reached the surface, and they talked about how they can talk to the Lord of the island. However, the elves already arrive, and Kabru recalls his sad backstory when the elves obliterated the dungeon they once had. When he chimes in with the conversation, she tells the elves that they should let him evacuate all the adventurers inside the dungeon first, before sealing it away. They then let him do what he thinks is right, but he will be under observation, because one of the elves thinks that Kabru is up for something. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon, Laios starts acknowledging the presence of the ghost that keeps on reaching out to him. Upon talking to the ghost, they are taken to a different dimension where they see a grand castle with its people nurturing monsters like real livestock. In that place, suddenly Izutsumi has a sudden drastic change of character. They also meet the grandson of Prince Delgal and learn about the curse that was bestowed on them by the lunatic mage. Moreover, Laios learns that based on the prophecy, he is the one destined to save them from their misery. The next day, Laios wakes up after smelling the delicious scent of Senshi's pancake. Not long after, they began sharing a meal with everyone, and Yad even shoves some down his throat. After learning the backstory of the lunatic mage named Thistle, and how he casts a spell of immortality on them, the party decided to personally talk to him. That said, Yod show them the way back to the dungeon. The party then finds themselves in a place full of giant pillars. Meanwhile, Laios and Marcille check on the area, and they find a griffin that eventually attacks them. Senshi, who is so scared of Griffin, runs away and ends up being abducted by the monster. In an attempt to save Senshi, Marcille tries summoning a monster that is made up of the food stock that they have. With Marcille and Laios' efforts, they manage to have Senshi escape the nest of the Griffin. The two even do their best to take down the monster, and after that, they share a meal together. Moments later, Senshi tells everyone his backstory and how he ends up living in the dungeon. Senshi starts telling his autobiography to his party members. Turns out that after discovering the dungeon that is coated with pure gold, the dwarf miner's attitude begins changing. They are then hunted by the Griffin, and the monster kills them one after another. One day, two elder dwarves had a confrontation, and they fought each other, resulting in the death of one of them. He then claims to cook the monster and feeds it to Senshi, who thinks that it is the meat of their comrades. This lingers in the mind of Senshi, which explains why Senshi is traumatized by the thought of Griffin. Laios then tries cooking the Griffin to confirm if it's the same meat that Senshi ate. Soon after, Laios transforms the Griffin's meat into a hippogriff and cooks it for Senshi. Senshi figures out that the meat he tasted wasn't human meat, and Senshi is freed from his trauma. When they left the place, they accidentally stepped on the mysterious mushroom. The next day, when they wake up, they are all shocked to see that their appearances have changed. Despite that, they continue their journey until they have reached the deepest floor of the dungeon. Unfortunately, they are attacked by gargoyles, and they have no other choice but to flee. Continuing their journey, they keep on trying to survive, but the gargoyle keeps on hunting them down. They then decided to outsmart the gargoyle by letting them transform just like them. Moments later, they wake up in their original bodies. When they reach a safer place, they enter what seems like a cart and they ride it going somewhere. With positivity, they are dedicated to finding ways how to save Phelan. And just like that, their long journey of eating delicious meals in the dungeon continues. I hope you enjoyed this week's recap. Check the comments for the title of this anime. Remember, if you like, comment, and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And I look forward to revealing another amazing anime.